Hi everyone, welcome to the Vista Wellness Center. I'm Amalia, and today I'm bringing you a yoga snack that addresses lots of areas in the body, and it will be all standing and all using a wall for balance and for feedback and support for the body. So I love using the wall. I haven't explored very many videos recently incorporating the wall, although I'm sorry, I love you, I've missed you, because I was worried this camera angle was going to be a little bit funky and a little bit visually off. But, I decided to go for it as a reminder that when we're practicing yoga, we're practicing for more than just the physical postures and benefits. We're practicing to have a space where we get to be in our bodies, maybe take a couple of deep breaths and maybe connect also to the sense of purpose or of being held or seen by ourselves. There's a lot of reasons that we come to our practice aside from how it looks. That's really pretty low on the scale of importance. So reminder, it's not going to be perfect. It doesn't have to look a certain way. Ideally, the most important thing in your practice is that it's working for you and it's providing you what you need in the moment. And that the result of you getting some of your own needs met is that then you're able to go out into the world and into your relationships and into your life and bring some of those other principles of yoga alive. So whatever you are working with today, just be assured that that is going to be great. That's going to be enough. So I've got my mat down here, which is going to keep my feet nice and steady and not sliding. And then I've got my wall, and that's all that I'm going to be using. So let's get started. The first shape that we're going to explore at the wall is a standing side bend. So I'm going to start with my feet. And this is unusual. I don't like to do a lot of poses with the feet right up together because already this starts to challenge our balance, but I have a good reason for it today. So I'm going to snug my feet together. I'm going to bring my left hand onto the wall for support, and then I'm going to wiggle those feet away from the wall until my arm is pretty much fully extended, if that's comfortable. Just so I'm giving myself space to come into that lean or that side bend. Now I'm going to cross my right leg, so the leg that's further from the wall, over my left and nestle it in close again. Now I'm going to really push down into that right footprint to try and extend and lengthen both legs. And from here, I'm going to sweep my right arm out to the side, and then I'm going to move my hips over in the direction of that arm. And this is where it can get wiggly. And I might be learning that, notice how my arm isn't straight anymore but bent, that I might need a little bit more room. So let's see how it goes. I'm in the side bend already. I'm sending my hips and my right arm away. And if your shoulder says yes, you can then sweep your right arm up and over your right ear, and your fingertips may even brush against the wall. If you feel like you're getting smushed into the wall here, then come out of the pose, uncross, and move your feet a little farther from the wall. And you can recross, reach out, bump hips, and come into that side bend to the left. Hopefully this feels really good. And when you get here, reminder as always that the way you do it is the right way. And that any movement that's feeling welcome in your body, you can explore that now. Maybe you want to slide that right arm around in space or wiggle your fingers. Maybe your hand is planted steady on your right outer hip and you're leaning your ribs to the left. We're slowly turning your head side to side here. Plug into your feet one more time to really root your legs down. And then let's come up and switch sides. So I'm just going to turn around, bringing my right hand to the wall, standing a far enough distance away from the wall that I'll be able to fold over without bumping into it. I'm going to cross my left foot over my right this time. So outer leg or leg that's away from the wall. I'm going to bump my hips also away from the wall and reach out through this left arm. Now, if the shoulder is okay with it, a big arc over the left ear. Maybe my fingers are gonna tap onto the wall for some increased security and stability there. I'm going to keep reminding myself that that left foot has a job to do. I'm pushing down into the mound of the left big toe, the middle of my heel. I'm imagining my legs growing down into the floor like roots. I'm going to invite some movement to my neck, my left arm. I'm going to keep sending my hips to the left, maybe pressing my right palm into the wall a little bit. Enjoying the breath. And then releasing from your side bend. And the next shape that we're going to do using the wall is downward facing dog, or Adho Mukha Svanasana. So for tender wrists, this is a great way to practice downward facing dog, where you build some of the arm strength, but you're not putting so much pressure into your wrists and hands. And in fact, to decrease that pressure even more, you can use your fingertips on the wall instead of the flat palms, or you can use the knuckles against the wall. So I'm going to go with fingertips just a little higher than my shoulders are. And then I'm going to start to back my feet up until they land behind my hips. And here I am in my wall supported Adho Mukha Svanasana. If this is feeling great, I get to stay and enjoy sensation, maybe wiggle hips a little bit side to side here. If I'm wanting to find out what other options are available, I might continue to walk my feet back. And as I do that, I might also start to walk my hands down the wall a little bit more. Now we're finding length in the spine in downward facing dog. So I'm going to send the crown of my head toward my fingertips on the wall, lengthening the sides of my neck. I'm going to send my sitting bones back in space, like I could make a butt print on the wall across the room. And then I'm going to enjoy what's available here. Space across the upper back and opening around the shoulders, the neck. Some days I feel the fronts of my legs here. Some days I feel the backs of my legs, my calves or my hamstrings. You could bend into one knee at a time if that feels good. Maybe shift the hips again a little bit side to side, or even play with a bend in both knees, and then straightening your legs. Great. After downward facing dog, we're going to transition right into plank pose at the wall. So as I'm lifting my head to look toward my fingertips, I'm going to shift onto my knuckles. This feels a little more stable to me. And then I'm going to move my hips. They were back behind my heels. I'm going to move my hips in line with my heels. So you can see that my body now is more at a one long diagonal line. And I'm already building some strength here. And if it's feeling like too much, I'm going to walk my feet in and decrease that angle. That was kind of an extreme one. And here's my plank. I'm pressing into my feet. I'm pressing into the wall. I'm still reaching up through the crown of my head to maintain that length in the spine. If I want to take a little push-up or a chaturanga in yoga language at the wall, I'll bend my elbows to bring my chest a little closer. And then I'll press the wall away from me and return to wall plank. So you might take a few of those. If you wanted to add an element in here to your wall chaturanga, you could also try rising up onto tiptoes. Let's explore maybe one more moment here in our plank at the wall. And then we're going to release the heels down if they were lifted. Walk in nice and close to the wall. I'm going to walk to maybe a foot away And here I'm going to move into a stretch for the front of the shoulders. So shaking out the hands, the wrists, and the fingers, a little wiggle, maybe a little sigh. And now I'm going to turn my body so that my left shoulder is facing to the wall. I'm going to put my left hand on the wall, but the fingers turning back. And I'm going to start to kind of tiptoe that hand back until my arm is extended out behind me. If I stepped away from the wall, you'd see it. There it is back behind. I'm stepping back in. And as I press my palm into the wall, like I'm trying to push that wall away, I'm also going to be turning my shoulders and my belly to the right. So my body's kind of looking away from the wall as my hand is pressing into the wall. And then is when I start to feel this nice expanse of space opening across the chest and into the front of that left shoulder. If you want to intensify the stretch here, you press the palm into the wall more. And also you can tiptoe the hand a little further back and then maybe wiggle your feet in closer to the wall. So depending on range of motion in your shoulder, you might be even closer to the wall than I am or even further away. I want to show you how this looks on the other side since my arm is not part of your view. So if I turned the other way, again, I've got my right shoulder facing the wall. My toes are looking not at the wall, but the outer edge of my feet is what's parallel to that wall. And I'm walking my right hand back, and then I'm going to press this right palm into the wall. And if I really want to intensify it, in addition to pressing my palm into the wall, I'm going to imagine that this right hand could drag the wall forward in the direction of my nose. And I'm going to ask shoulders and belly to look out to the left or to look away from the wall. And here we get to have this little dance. How much effort and energy am I going to put into this pressure in my hand? How much feels like the right amount of sensation? Are there other parts of the body getting tense or tight that I could try to consciously or purposefully soften? And then we'll let that go. So if you've only done the one side of that front of the shoulder stretch, go ahead and you can pause the video and you could go to the second side, spend a couple moments with that, take a few breaths. I'm going to go ahead on and show you the last two shapes here in our snack practice today. And it's actually just one shape with two sides. So it's going to be a warrior one at the wall. I'll stay kind of close to the wall for this one. I'm going to step my right foot back while using my fingertips on the wall for support. So I'm going to bend the knees, step the right foot back, and it doesn't have to step very far. In fact, I'm going to try and keep it within the frame, which means it's not very far at all. And when I landed that right foot, I angled my toes out, maybe 45 degrees. And really what I'm looking for here is no feeling of strain or torque on the knee. So if you discover that it feels better with your toes pointing more forward, go with that. If you want to turn your toes out a little more, you can trust that instinct as well. With fingers on the wall about shoulder height for support, I'm going to wiggle my left foot just a little closer to the wall so that when I bend that left knee, it's not going way past the toes, it's just going about to the toes. And I'm going to start to feel this nice sensation of stretch or tension or pull here in the front of the right hip flexor. And I like that, so I'm going to hang out here. And I'm in fact going to work on plugging into my right heel or keeping this back leg nice and active. And then I'm going to find again that length in my spine by thinking crown of the head to the sky. And maybe you just hang out here, left knee bent and right leg straight. Maybe you need a little break and you press your hips back, straighten your left leg, and then bend that knee again. So just easing in and out of warrior one. If you can, keep your upper body stacked or keep your shoulders sitting over your hips. If you need to pitch forward to feel steady, that's fine. But what we'd like to avoid here is that we're really rounding or kind of hunching over. So let's see if we can maintain length through the spine. Either way. Good. And then I'm going to switch sides. So for the switching, sometimes I'll come onto my palms, find a little bit of that press through the hands. Step the right foot forward, spin the left toes out, come back onto fingertips, lengthen up through the spine, and bend into the right knee. And again, this is your practice for your body, your brain, your heart, and where you are today. So you get to customize it and make it your own. Maybe you don't want both hands on the wall. Maybe you let one drop and shake it out. Maybe you test your balance. We'll take one more moment or one more breath cycle here, exploring warrior one. And then let's let it go. And if it feels like it's a challenge to get out of this shape, turn all of your toes in the same direction. That should be easy to find. Your legs are going to want to turn one way and not want to turn the other way. So turn in the direction that's easily or most easily accessed. And then you're just in this nice, stable, kind of wide-legged stance. And from there, you can heel, toe, and release the wall. And when you're done, take a minute to find stillness. Maybe a nice deep breath. And then you get to go on about your day, or maybe you're fired up and ready for the next yoga snack. So either way, thank you so much for practicing. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you at the next snack.